When it comes to the NFL draft, everyone has an opinion, but we wanted to know what decision makers and executives thought about each team's draft, so we asked guys from around the league. We bring it to you in our Draft Confidential segment. Right now, we're just looking at the NFC East. Nolan, the New York Giants, they took David Wilson, the running back, at the end of the first round, but he wasn't widely projected as a first-round talent. Why do you think that is?
Well, I spoke to some GMs before the draft, and a number of teams had Michael James and Isaiah Pead from Cincinnati stacked more highly than David Wilson. The criticisms I heard were that he didn't have enough energy in his feet. He just wasn't as explosive as the other two, and I disagree. I think he's, if you really study the tape, there's games where you see him come around the corner, turn two-yard losses into 10-yard gains, very dynamic with the ball in his hands, and I think he's going to turn out to be a phenomenal player.
The Philadelphia Eagles, they got Fletcher Cox in the first round. Late in the draft process before the draft started, I think there was a lot of buzz about Cox, maybe even going higher than that. Going down to 12, is that a slide for him? And what are the biggest concerns about Fletcher Cox?
Well, a number of teams had him ranked in that 15 to 25 area. That's where they'd really like to get him. He wound up going even higher than that. I thought he was a top 10 talent, but clearly he fell a little lower. The big concerns I heard late in the process were teams were beginning to monitor his Twitter feed and really sensing some immaturity there, talking about the money he was going to be making without really having ever taken a snap in the league, just concerned with the wrong things. And I think his maturity and intelligence issues are what pushed him down the boards.
Obviously keeping an eye on all things when it comes to a draft prospect. In Dallas, Rob Ryan probably doing cartwheels if the Cowboys use their first 4 picks all on defense. Everyone knows about Morris Claiborne, but the other 3 guys they got after that, Tyrone Crawford, Kyle Wilbur, Matt Johnson, what can you tell us about them?
Crawford was a very underrated prospect. I think he can walk in from day one and really contribute at that 5 technique position. Great scheme fit for that defense. Kyle Wilbur is another underrated prospect. I think he can eventually become the replacement for Anthony Spencer out on the opposite side of DeMarcus Ware. A lot of teams were coveting him even though he was seen as a developmental prospect. And then Matt Johnson really came on as a late riser. So I think all 3 of them were solid picks. Teams were really impressed with what they did there on defense.
They may not have the name recognition of a Morris Claiborne, but it sounds like 3 pretty good picks for the Cowboys to contribute pretty much right away. In Washington, the Kirk Cousins pick, I think, is one everyone was talking about. It was really a lightning rod for controversy. What was the reaction, though, around the league? And then also, what did you think of them picking Cousins?
It was widely praised around the league. You look at the first-round pick, you don't know that Baylor's Robert Griffin is going to stay healthy down the road. He's got that running style where he can easily be hurt like he was in college. If he happens to go down, they don't have a good number 2 right now, a good solid backup, and that's what he could be. I think he's probably disappointed that he fell into that backup range, but in this offense, he could really develop. He's very smart, hardworking, tough, determined. I think he has everything you look for. One team that I talked to compared him to Ned Flanders with the Simpsons. Says he doesn't know if he's just too nice and that Christian type that may not ever be quite instinctive enough to really
killer instinct.
Yeah, exactly. So there has been some criticism, but he's a player that I think over time could really develop in that system.
I think it raised a lot of eyebrows, but when you think about backup quarterback and how valuable they are in this league, it can't hurt to have a good one like Kirk Cousins. That's the Draft Confidential we have from the NFC East. You can check them all out. We'll have them for every division at ProFootballWeekly.com.